What is going on, guys and girls? It's GhostRobo, and welcome back to Evolve. Today we've got another tournament match for you, this time from the Hunter side of things. Thank you guys so much for supporting this series. If you're enjoying the Evolve content and want more of it, make sure to leave a like and a comment down below. I think we're going to go to a schedule for this one, but I'll talk about that later in the video. Right now, you've got me as Medic, playing Lazarus, my brother Jake as Abe the Trapper, Gabe from Volatile Gabe as Hank the Support, and Casey, a new friend, a classy guy that we met and helped us out playing as Parnell the Assault. Now, the way this tournament worked was a best out of 3, with the higher seed choosing if they wanted to play as Hunters or Monsters first. I was a little bit shy about my monster skills, as you remember from my monster tournament video, so I chose Hunters for us, thinking we'd get the early edge, and then I could come in and clean up shop with my Kraken. We're facing off against an opposing Kraken on Aviary, which he picked. Now, I was nervous. We're jumping in. We'd practiced a little bit, but we'd practiced on Xbox Live. I cannot just convey enough that tournament play against these top teams is so much different than the randoms you'll find on Xbox Live. I went into this thinking our biggest problem would be hunting the monster, and our biggest pro or strength would be in-dome fighting. And boy, I could not have been more wrong. You'll see here how that pans out. But we really wanted to find him quickly, and we opted to go for a sort of 4-man strategy, all sticking together. We didn't want to run into issues with 2 guys getting stuck with a sloth or a tyrant, or 2 guys getting, abused by Kraken in the tunnels. As a person who uses Kraken on Aviary a lot, I know that these tunnels are incredibly dangerous, but we did get a drop on his tracks pretty early here, so I was excited at this point. I don't have the in-game commentary. I didn't want to record that and risk something getting crazy. We were just totally focused on the match at hand, but I did record the video so you guys could see it. And I will say that this match exposes a lot of things that my team and me personally didn't do so well, but it was a great learning experience. And I compare it to like thinking about a basketball game where you go back and you wonder, oh, I should have, pump faked on that 3-pointer and came in for a layup, or oh, I should have, closed out quicker on that guy and not left my feet. You remember things that you could have improved, and I went back and thought about things that I could have done better. Specific actions, little moments that may have been able to turn the tide of battle, and that makes Evolve to me feel like something that has a great chance of really thriving as an esport if they're able to really push it in that direction, because of the fact that as you play asymmetrically with everyone reprising a very specific role, it does begin to feel like a sport and like a team. And something else I learned here is, man, in order to be a top team, you're going to need all of your players to play their role to a T and maybe then some. Because I found myself worrying about other people and wanting to then overcompensate what I was doing. And look, I know I'm not the best Evolve player. I'm not a pro, but I did probably have the most knowledge out of this group here. And so I was trying to do a little bit too much, and I think it's probably possible for a great team to do, their role and like I said, a little bit extra, maybe kind of have everyone be a jack of all trades plus their skill. But for the most part, I think the Medic really has to play Medic and focus almost entirely on healing. I think the Trapper has to do his thing, etc., etc. We have not spotted him yet. We're trying to really get a drop. It's been about 2 minutes of the match, but he hasn't evolved yet. So to me, that says he's stealthing around, and I was not worried at this point. As long as we weren't dying stupidly from wildlife, as long as people weren't getting separated, I was okay with that. Now, I was talking to my team here about I think we should probably abandon the 4-man strategy, because the way that these tunnels work and the way that this map works, it's very easy for the monster to just kind of wind all 4 hunters on this ridiculous roller coaster chase, and you will never catch up. So what I wanted us to do was start splitting and closing in on him. 2 people in one tunnel as we get the monster alert, and 2 people on the other side, so we kind of pinch him in the center. Now, we had never practiced any of these, really more focused tactics, and that bit us in the butt. I mean, when you're practicing against monsters that are just running around and you dome them within 30 seconds and you're just practicing, your shooting gallery skills, it doesn't give you a chance to really iron out a lot of the intricacies of what you want your team to do. At least I did not die from that gigantic, disgusting carnivorous plant, but it was eye-opening to really unfold even more layers of Evolve, and the game is so different when you're playing with people and when you're playing at a high level. It feels like in just an incredible, unmatched experience. The tension here, the intensity. I mean, I was literally sweating and shaking, and maybe that's just part of my personality, but man, like, I've never experienced that with another game, and part of it is because I haven't done hardly any video game tournament stuff, but man, just the monster chase and just the whole, I don't know, just the sort of the theme of the game really enhances its intensity for me a lot. We've got Kraken. Now, he is level 1, and this is really our chance to push the pedal to the metal, and I thought we were going to grab the win. We did an absolutely terrible job of capitalizing on this early dome. As you're seeing, we cannot find him. He's back in a corner. I really don't want to go after him. You know, I'm not going to point any fingers. We all did stuff that was wrong, but we got to find the monster early, and it probably can't be me. I didn't see everybody's perspective, and I know that they were doing the best they can, and like I said, I was just doing the best I could. Obviously not perfect, but we didn't find him early, and again, we're really slow to do damage. I'm trying to get some spots on him as Jake gets a good stasis grenade from Abe. We miss on the orbital there, and this Kraken is doing a really good job of flying away and keeping himself mobile and elevated, which makes it difficult for us to hit, especially, I think, with Parnell requiring more precision with his attacks. I'm not quite sure, you know, Abe as well with that shotgun blast, maybe not the best choice against Kraken, but remember, it's a blind draw, so we didn't know if we were going to go against Ray. That's what I was kind of anticipating, or Goliath, or what. The dome is down. We didn't lose much, but he didn't either. He lost a little bit of armor, but remember in these engagements, chipping away at armor, to me, is completely futile and useless, because as long as he has food in his belly, that armor means hardly anything to him. He just wants to have enough armor so that when he evolves, he's got, you know, he can get away, he can get the wildlife he needs and evolve, and as long as his health hasn't been touched, it's sort of like, who cares? So, yeah, it's good to engage the monster, but we were basically wasting our time there, and all that happened is I've got to use my healing burst now to get everybody back to status quo. So, oh, that was so frustrating, and at this point, now we're playing catch-up. The monster, we found him. I thought we tracked really well. We got him at stage 1, and now the hunt gets a lot more desperate, because we have to find him before it gets out of control. You know, there was a lot of instances in this tournament. I've been watching some matches from other teams and top teams where the monster just wrecked, but the times that the hunters were able to take down a top tier monster, their execution as a team was perfect. I mean, they pinched the monster beautifully in these back snowy areas. They were able to lock in and key on in every dome situation, capitalizing on every advantage that they possibly could, which is something we totally didn't do. You'll notice here we're split up, again, trying to find the monster. And, you know, I don't have enough experience to really know the exact pacing of, like, how far should I get in front of my teammate? Where exactly should I look? He's stage 2 right now. You know, what should be sort of our exact tactic at this moment in the match? But I do think that this is a game at the higher levels that is going to really require everybody to play superbly. I don't think this is a game where, from the hunter side of things, one amazing player can fix it for the whole team. Like, say we were able to recruit, like, this phenomenal medic that just knew everything about the game, left, right, up, down, diagonal, back, forward, all over. I don't know that that would have made a difference, because it feels like something where a LeBron James is not going to come in and work his magic for the team. Maybe as the monster. Surely as one of the 3 giant creatures, you can come in and take over as an individual, but man, it seems like you need such coordination, such strategy, and such perfect understanding of the game, of the characters, and of each other. I was watching KGB play, who ended up going to the finals. They're going to LA, and man, as soon as someone got hit by a wildlife, it was like they didn't even have to say anything. They just knew, and they were able to save their teammates. We're caught in the middle area here trying to find tracks. Again, we find it pretty well. Another thing that I really think that, if, you know, anybody needs to work on is the support medic tandem, using the team cloak and Lazarus's personal cloak to be as defensive as possible. Kraken is here, we're all team cloaked up, but we don't have a dome, and we missed him, which is just, that's deadly, because he did have full armor there, but at stage 2, in an open environment, we had another chance to really deal some damage, and we faltered, and probably it was a bad idea to fire at him before the dome was dropped. I don't know, there's so many little moments that one little tiny tweak could change the flow of battle. But we're still on the case, and we're still pursuing as best we can. I'm almost like, I like to show, and I usually win in this game, especially playing on Xbox Live. Like, I have not lost yet on the retail version as Monster. Even in this tournament, I won as Monster. And so it's not like I only show you guys my wins. It's that it's a totally different ball game against these organized squads. And it was like we came up against an iron curtain of craziness. And this team didn't even go that far. Props to them for beating us. But it wasn't like they were the top team in the tournament. So it really is a game that has a ceiling to go after and like to seek out, okay, how can my team be better? And I hope that it's possible to do that with some great strategy and not just obsessive time, because I don't really have 10 hours a day to put into this game, but I would love to continue playing it at a high level for as long as I possibly can. A lot of people have been asking me on Twitter and on YouTube, how do you feel about the game now that it's been out for a couple of weeks? Are you getting bored? Do you find it repetitive? And in fact, I find it more and more enjoyable. The more I'm able to play with a group of people, the more that I'm able to play against higher competition, the more that the beautiful parts of Evolve just shine bright and shine through. I don't really know why I came at Kraken here. This was probably a terrible decision. We did get the dome, and again, at Stage 2, we've got another opportunity to really take him down. Now, what we probably should have done here is spread the heck out. Hank with his shield needs line of sight. I need to stay far away as Lazarus because I don't have healing from a distance. Now, he focused on the Trapper immediately, and I wasn't over to that side of the battle. I don't know what we could have done better. But Assault is also going down from a Tyrant, and this is just probably the worst thing that could happen at this time. Support now is down because Kraken could focus exclusively on support, and our team is in horrible shape. HORRIBLE. Like, let's get the cheer squad out here and really just shout it out because we are screwed. I got the revive on the Trapper, but that doesn't change the fact that the dome is down and we missed out on an opportunity. Now, kudos to my teammates for still dealing decent damage to him as he comes and just picks me out of the air. I am down on the ground. This match in general also made me realize that I don't know if Lazarus is the character that I want to pursue fully. I may be making a switch because his inability to heal from a distance requires absolute perfection with the revives, and basically you're banking on the fact that your team is going to go down and then you're going to play sort of cleanup duty rather than keep the team alive as long as possible and react if necessary. Again, the wildlife is beating our butts here, which just we cannot let happen if we want to have hopes of winning. Kraken busts away because he's going for stage 3. He doesn't want to try and finish us off there, although he thinks he had a good chance. What I saw KGB do was they split up and had 4 people on 4 pillars in that middle area, forcing the monster to come at one of them and letting the other 3 either utilize their abilities, a la Hank's shield, or use their damage-dealing weapons to pour into Kraken and make him pay for chasing after one person. Now, our idea here was to stay more together because that's what had worked when we were playing on Xbox Live together as a team. In this instance, though, it didn't really seem to pay off. It more ended up being a skilled Kraken able to punish us by being close together with attacks. And that's something that I gotta iron out and figure out is, like, how do you balance staying together while also being spread out in order to utilize your abilities. For Lazarus, I gotta get in close, though, in order to use my healing burst. Another thing that I learned that is incredibly dangerous here is if Hank is shielding Lazarus while he's cloaked, that is a bad sign. Now, right now, Kraken is in the tunnel, and he is eating, I think it's Trapper alive. So it's either we let Trapper get eaten, which we probably should do. I'm hoping, though, that we could do some damage. And he was just in the perfect position where we didn't get any damage dealt, and he ate Abe. He ate him. He swallowed him whole, and there's no opportunity for me to revive. Great little monster tip there that I then implemented in my Kraken round is if you eat the bodies, Lazarus can't do anything. And again, that just contributed more and more to my... I feel like I'm like breaking up with like my best buddy here because Lazarus has been my hero all along in Evolve, and I really saw through some of his cracks. I remember being at E3 last year and people saying Lazarus is so OP, he's so OP, he's so OP. I don't think so at all. In fact, I think you could argue almost the opposite in some ways. Sure, that revive is good, but as the game has been exposed to more people and monsters have gotten stronger and stronger as Wraith has been revealed, so on and so forth, his revive is not as great as you might think, because if the monster is able to isolate and eat a body, it does nothing. At this point, we're like, okay, our strategy is not working. We got to wait for Abe to get back, and let's take out these tyrants so that they don't come into play when we have the final showdown here. Kraken is going to go level up. He's going to go get his full armor, and we're just going to kind of expect that and hope to God that we can take him out in the dome of the aviary, sort of the greenhouse section. Fingers crossed. Again, I think we needed Hank to be cloaking our team more, interchanging with my cloaks that was almost never visible. But at the same time, that would require Abe and Parnell to really be dealing damage if me as the medic and Abe as the support are going to focus mostly on more of our secondary abilities. Another thing is, like, you pretty much get one orbital per dome, and I think you got to make sure that it hits to deal the damage and to utilize that probably later rather than sooner. And again, like, no pointing the fingers at anybody. Everybody made mistakes. I, was way too aggressive. I should have held back. It was just hard for me, like, seeing my guys and wanting to get in there and contribute, and also knowing that I couldn't heal from a distance. I don't know if it's just this map in particular, or maybe it's a Kraken thing, or maybe it's a team composition thing, but it really seemed like I was unable to get the healing burst that I'm normally able to get, because Kraken, this monster, this guy, props to him for keeping such a watchful eye on every character and forcing me to stay away or forcing me to really be risky. So Abe is dropping in and Kraken is coming in. The final fight is upon us, and I am sweating balls at this point. I'm so nervous. I don't want to go down, especially knowing that I have to play Monster next. And you guys know from watching the video that I did win, so, like, thank God. But I was incredibly concerned. I'll put a link to that video if you missed it, so you can watch me play Monster against this team. Kraken has limited armor. If you can get through it, you got a solid chance, but we're not dealing any damage. That's a missed orbital. I'm trying to light him up with as many, like, multiplier markers as possible, but for whatever reason, we're not doing hardly any damage. And I'm not sure if that's because we were just nervous, we were playing too conservatively, a bad matchup of characters, but again, I'm cloaked, and like, that shield shouldn't be happening right now. So we've got everybody back in. Parnell is about to go down over there, and there's a lightning strike that just hit Abe, so we're in real dire straits. I'm going to try to get over here and get the heal on Parnell to keep him alive for damage, but Kraken is right in the same mindset as me. He knows what I'm trying to do. Again, we've got the shield on. I'm trying to avoid this lightning strike here. Another thing I learned is, man, save your jetpack while in battle. You want to have a dodge burst so that you can get out of sticky situations like that one, and you're not left running on the ground trying to dodge a lightning strike. I'm down, and they're going to try to get me up, but as they make the journey across, they are falling like flies, and our team dies. It was a sad moment, and I'm half embarrassed to post this video because I know it wasn't really great play. I know it was pretty not the greatest, but the silver lining of that is it was an opportunity to play against someone far more skilled than I'd seen, just in, like, random matchmaking, and illuminate what is really required if you want to be a good Evolve team, and also sort of peel back the layers of the game and say, hey, there's a lot going on here, and if you want to be great, there's a lot you need to do. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You are great. Make sure to let me know what you thought, tips and tricks that you guys may have picked up in the comments down below. I've got another tournament match to show you guys if you want it, so hit that like button if you're excited to see that one. Different map, same crew. Hopefully a different result. But until next time, guys and girls, thanks so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. Drink some hot chocolate, and we will see you all later.